My father was a quiet, determined man, and it's reflected in the fact that what he did outside the home, the things he did, the way he tried to help people, he just did it. In 1972, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission gave my father a letter authorizing him to sue the bleachery because the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission believed that everything my father had said about the bleachery in terms of gender and racial discrimination and lack of pay, and the fact that blacks, and both men and women, were given the hardest and the dirtiest jobs at the bleachery and were paid less than their white counterparts for the work.
There was 3 unions at the bleachery, and each one of those unions had their own contract. The contract dictated how people would move from one job to another, or how jobs were developed, or who went on what job. And the company had to agree to it, and the union workers had to agree to it. But it wasn't just the company. It was also being driven by the structure of discrimination, which was the mindset of those that were in the majority of the union, which were white people.
You saw those guys on the street, and you knew that they were just as smart, just as hardworking as the white counterparts, but they were just getting paid less, just because of the color of their skin.
So, my father filed a lawsuit, and within short order, within a year, the bleachery agreed to give my father and the workers at the plant everything they asked for, including back wages. My father knew that his life could be taken at any time. The Ku Klux Klan threatened him. They told him they were coming to get him one night. There were workers at the bleachery on 1 or 2 occasions where the worker threatened to shoot my father, but my father concluded that he was bluffing. My father had a saying about all this. He said when he filed that lawsuit, he didn't intend to hurt anyone. He just did what he thought was right, and that what he was doing was not for him, but were for future generations who would be coming to work there. And so what he did, in essence, applied to every business in this community. So he changed this community by giving every citizen the opportunity to work for equal pay and to be treated with dignity and respect while doing so.
It bettered me. It helped me as far as a career was concerned. I was able to pursue my goal, which was to work with unions. The bleachery had 3 unions there, so I was able to get some labor relations experience, some human resources, employment experiences, and do a lot of laying a foundation to build a career on at the bleachery. So it was a good opportunity.
When I finished tech and went to the bleachery, I was able to get a salaried position. Most of the salaried jobs back then were only white people. So I was able to get that, and I think that was because of Reverend Ellison. And it helped me to live a better life. I was able to support my family and send my daughter to college. And I think it helped me a whole lot as a result of his lawsuit.
I think he's deserving of the award because he was courageous. He, in a time of complacency, especially with African Americans, he stood out and he made a commitment to be a change and to make a change in his work environment. So I think he understood that whatever he did, it would be for the betterment of the plant and for the lives of the people, all people working there.
Well, I think Reverend Ellison deserved this award. Not only was he a hard worker at the bleachery, but he was a full-time minister, and with supporting 10 kids and devoting all this time to trying to help other people. I think no other person deserves it more than Reverend Ellison.
Now, my father loved people. He really loved people. My father had at least 2 white businessmen, wealthy men, who told him that when they died, they insisted that he preach their funeral. That was unheard of in the South. Indeed, when the family of one objected, he kind of laid the law down to them. But after my father preached the funeral, they were just delighted. They were delighted. Once you get past skin color, once you get past ethnicity and classism, what you find is that you can actually not just look at people, but you can look inside people, look right into them and see the good that's in them, the good that is in everybody, including clansmen who kill people. There's a good in them. But they can't find it because they think in evil ways. And my father helped bring some of those people to a better place. That's why he deserves to be honored on the Rock Hill Freedom Walkway.